the work in. Hey, put the work in. Put the work in. Yeah. Told baby girl, hey girl, she gotta do it with a purpose. Hammer down about him every man. I heard that she a virgin. Sheesh. And I've been in the gym all week. Heavy bars, that's how I'ma drop the gems y'all need. I've been working on his body for the beach all winter. Yoga and Pilates, watch me keep my figure. Snap back like Beyonce, kill the beats like Jigga. Shit a vision, but not everybody see my picture. Like a circle got smaller, but the dream got bigger. All those things that you said you didn't mean, I get it. Oh, you really wanna come back to the team? I'm listening. My life's different and I'm richer. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work, cause I come first. And I ain't even need your help. I put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Immaculate flows, one verse to murder half of your bros. 16 bars, only need half of that for these. Built to the real Cause half the rappers you know, man, you gon' need exorcisms. I'm attacking they soul, whoa. Turn the studio into the conjuring. Vocal cords will hit you with hard waves like a tsunami hit. Play the game, you say my name, you roll the dice and watch the jungle come alive. Soon as you make a move on some Jumanji shit. Damn, everybody ain't built. If I blow up, it's Hiroshima. Everybody get killed, man. I'm detonating the Cold War. I'm making sure everybody get chills. Made for this since birth. Yes, I know my worth. Go hard, put in the work, cause I come first. And I ain't even need your help. You better go off quick. Put the work in the zone, don't quit. Put the work in like you own that ish. You gotta do it for yourself. Put the work in. I heard you looking for results. Put the work in. Yeah, you gon' have to put the work in. Put the work in. Put the work in. We gon' put it in. Put the work in. Every day. Yeah, every day, man.
Welcome to 2021. Everything is all back to normal. Just kidding, it's still a total mess. And in amongst that mess, we're actually not allowed to fly in the UK at the moment. We heard 2 words that no UK citizen wants to hear, which is national lockdown. Even the BMFA gave us a little confirmation slap just to say, don't even think about it. So I'm going to be stuck indoors the next few weeks. And what you just watched was a simulator that I've been working on over Christmas. And it's now ready to release to the world. It's technically a mod for a game called Skater XL, so that does mean that you need to own the game to be able to play this. And the game isn't free. In fact, it's kind of relatively expensive. But the mod itself is free, of course. And if you're interested in skateboarding, then it might be something that you want to pick up. Anyway, there seems to be a little bit of crossover between skaters and FPV pilots, so there might be a few people out there that will benefit from this. So I figured, why not let everybody play it if they want to? It has all the features you'd expect from a simulator. You can plug in any transmitter and it'll work. You can customize the physics and the rates so you can get the quad to feel just as you'd like, but it's primarily about free skate. There isn't any sort of racing or anything like that. So it's just kind of for the freestyle folks. So what would possess me to make this? What would possess you to play it? Well, a buddy of mine called Clown FPV suggested the idea. I don't know if he was serious or not, but I played the game and realized why it would be a good idea. See, most places that are good to skate are also really good to fly. So obviously this game has a lot of environments for skating. There's like skate parks, there's a school, there's downtown LA, just to name a few. But more interestingly, it has a pretty active modding community. So there's always people making new content for the game, new environments to skate in, and for you and me, more places to fly. But what I think is the unique selling point of this mod over another sim is, as you probably saw in the trailer, because it's based on a skateboarding game, there is a way for you to use the replays of previous skate sessions that you've done. And it is a really good tool for training you to do good chase footage. That isn't really an option in most sims out there. There isn't sort of a way to do chasing of moving objects. And you can sort of set up the skateboard lines yourself and then you can just quickly switch to the quad, and you can like keep repeating it until you get the line perfect and keep replaying the replay. And it is a really nice experience and something that you don't really see in other sims. So if you already own Skater XL and you're familiar with modding it, then there's a link in the description. Just go and download it and give it a shot. If you're not, then stay tuned and we'll go over how to install this thing, and there's a couple of steps that you need to do to get it going. So if you don't already own the game, you need to download it from Steam. I'm afraid it's only a Windows game, so Mac people, you are out of luck. Unfortunately, it's £30.99 now, which is kind of expensive, to be honest with you. It's a bare bones game, but it is a very good skateboarding game. But if you're not interested in skateboarding and you were just buying this for the FPV aspect, then I'd say it's probably not worth it. You're probably better off buying an actual FPV simulator like Liftoff. But if you're into skateboarding, it is a very good game as far as skateboarding simulation goes. Right, for those people that are still with me, I assume you either already own Skater XL or you're interested in skateboarding, so would consider buying it for that amount of money. There's one other thing that you need to download before we get to the mod, and that is something called Unity Mod Manager. Now you can download it from Nexus Mods. I'll leave a link in the description, but it does require you to create an account. So actually I might see if I can put a link to like a Dropbox file with Unity Mod Manager in the description instead to make it easier for you. So once you download that, it will download a zip to your machine. It's only about 2 megabytes, so it's nice and small. And then just unzip that somewhere and run it from the destination. You don't need to do any installation. You can just run the Unity Mod Manager .exe file straight from the folder. Inside Unity Mod Manager, all you need to do is find the game Skater XL in the list of games that it supports in this drop-down, and the folder should populate automatically if you installed it in Steam. And then you just hit the big install button. And after a second or two, it will say installation was successful, and that means that Unity Mod Manager has been installed for that game. Now, next thing, you need to get the Sync FPV quad mod from Mod.io, which a link will be in the description for that as well. All the links are in the description. And once you've got that, you download the zip file from there, and then you simply drag the zip file into the drop zip files here box, which is under the mods tab. So once you do that, you should then see it in the list above. It will say Sync FPV's quad mod version 1.0 status OK. Once all that's done, then you're ready to play. You just launch the game like normal and the quad mod will be enabled. So once the game's loaded and you're in, if you press F1, it will bring up the quad mod options menu. So in here, you can sort all the things out like the controller, the rates, and the physics. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your controller. So I'm going to use this Betaflight board with a Crossfire receiver attached to it. You can just directly plug in your transmitter if you want, but when you plug it in, then you should see it appear in this device drop-down at the top. So select the controller that you want, and then you need to set up the axis on your controller. So you just use the assign buttons for each of the 4 axes. So throttle, and then move the throttle stick, and then move the yaw stick, and do that for all of these. And then when you move the sticks around, you should see them all wiggling up and down. Now there's 2 other options at the bottom, which is reset and set spawn. Those are pretty self-explanatory. You can set up a switch or any other axis to control the resetting of the quad, which obviously puts it back to the spawn point. And then you can set another one that tells the game, this is my new spawn point. So wherever you are, it will set that position as the spawn. So make sure you've got a couple of switches set up for those as well. You can also enable gamepad mode, which means that the throttle starts at 0 in the middle, so that you can try and use a gamepad if you really want to. Setting up rates is just the same as in Betaflight, and physics, well, leave these on as default and then come back and change them if you feel like the quad doesn't behave exactly as you want. But sort of like play with them, like mess around with them slowly, just so you can see what effects each slider has. Once you've set all that stuff up, you can press F1 again to close the menu, and then every time you press space, it will just drop the quad down wherever the camera is. So now that I've pressed space, I can use my controller and I can fly around, and everything works just as you'd expect. All right, pretty good, pretty good. Hit space again and it will take you straight back to the skateboarder, so the camera will return to normal. And then you can pick up your controller and just play a skateboarding game. So you can hot swap between the 2, which is really quite fun. If you ever get bored of skateboarding, then you can go back to flying and vice versa. pretty cool game if you're interested in both. So one of the things Skater XL does really nicely, which kind of became the unique selling point of the sim, is it has a really decent replay mode. So you can, at any point after you've done like a pretty half decent run or something, you can press back on the controller and then it'll go into this sort of replay camera where you can watch your run and rewind and set keyframes and stuff. But the nice thing is we can also drop the quad down at any point in a replay as well. So I can put a quad here and then fly around and chase the guy, but he's obviously run away now. So if I reset, one thing that the reset button does is wherever you set the spawn, it also sets the replay to the time which it was at when you set that spawn point. So every time I hit the reset button, the replay goes back as well. So I get as many chances as I want at trying to do some decent chase footage on this skateboarder. So if I kind of mess that up, like I clip through him, I can just press reset and then try again. And this is really good for training in chase footage because it is quite a different skill to just like doing normal freestyle. It's a lot more challenging than you think. Trying to judge the velocity of the target and like read when he's going to slow down and speed up. And if you do it over and over again, then you do actually get a feel for like where I sped up and slowed down in the run and how I should respond to that. So I really like this feature, and that's why most of the trailer was just like chase shots of the skateboarder, because I thought that was kind of the most fun part of this, to be honest. You can pause the replay using the controller and then go and find a new sort of start point as well. You just go fly around, like if I want to start down here. And then I use the set spawn toggle that I set in the controls. And now when I hit reset, it will start playing and I'll be in that position. So if I mess that run up, I just reset and then I'm down here. So it gives you a lot of potential. So it gives you a lot of potential to play around and really get some great chase shots. This is all just that one run, and I could probably do this over and over again and not really get bored, because chasing is hard. Yep, messed that up. So there we go. That is how you use the mod in the game. Pretty self-explanatory, really. There's just one button to remember, which is F1. Oh no, two buttons to remember. F1 to bring up the menu and set up all of your settings, and spacebar to toggle between quad and skateboarder. That's kind of it. The rest is just, you know, how you fly a normal quad. There's just a couple of things worth noting that are sort of like, not really bugs, but just sort of little quirks about the game. The first one is if you have your controller and your radio plugged in both before you start the game, then the game will undoubtedly get confused about which is the primary controller. So when it says press any button to start, the button on the controller probably won't work. So if you just press spacebar or enter on that menu, then once the mods load, my mod will sort out the sort of control bindings and everything, so it will sort itself out. So yeah, if you've got both plugged in and it's not responding to the controller input when it says press any button to start, just hit enter or space and then everything will be fine. The other thing is some maps obviously haven't been designed with flying in mind, so they might have some sort of collision geometry that's a bit different to what you can see. So some roofs you might be able to fly through them because like the skateboarder wouldn't normally be able to get up there. But it all depends on the map and who built it. So there's the only two things that I would really consider bugs in this. Everything else just seemed pretty seamless. The game is built in such a nice way for modding that it wasn't really too difficult to add. But yeah, I hope that you enjoy it and have some fun with it. Okay, so that's it. First video of 2021. Thought I'd start with a little project in the studio. Probably going to be a few more videos from here because of the lockdown, at least until the middle of February anyway. And then we'll see what they say, see if we're allowed back outside. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.